Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we're looking at recent acquisition stuff that's been sent over by Civivi and other things I've acquired in the past several weeks. And the reason for this video is so that you guys can tell me what you would like to see me review, talk about, and just whatever you're wanting to know about the knives we have available at this point. Now, to start with, we have the new Civivi line. You're going to be seeing a lot of this on the channel over the next week because I'm trying to get all the information out to you prior to them hitting dealers. So over the next few days, you're going to have videos on all three of these knives. You have the Backlash, which is, or no, that's not a Backlash, that's a Praxis, which, as its name implies, is pretty much the most practical one of these knives. The Backlash, which is probably my favorite with that hollow grind in it, and the Naja. And a lot of you are really going to like that big whaley blade Balanoptera-ish without all the Balanoptera not-so-goodness. And anyhow, so you're going to see those here coming real quick. Those videos are already in the can and on the way to you. I just need to finish editing them up and get them scheduled. Other things that have come across, and we'll kind of go in some kind of quasi order here. This is one that my brother put me on to, and I can't remember all the stuff about the Voking line. I can't remember who makes it. That's the biggest thing. But if I do a video on it, I'll have that all figured out. But this is an M390 knife. It's a Voking Knives T04. And, guys, it's a pretty darn good little knife, an M390. And we can talk about this guy if you would like. It's definitely one of those gentlemanish knives, kind of a Brad Zinker-ish design, if you will. Urban trapper style, but a little more substantial, and of course a little more weighty, but in M390 instead of VG10, which is huge. Anyhow, got that guy right there, and see if we can get the not icked up blade side. Kind of a neat knife. If you guys would like for me to do a review of that one, let me know. And then from there, we kind of go, kind of expensive, really. I got this run on availability of some of these things, and they are things that I have been curious about. I was able to trade for some of them, and I had to buy some of them. But things I've either wanted or been curious about for a long time. This is a curious about that I was able to trade for. This is the Borka Blades Stitch, and this is the Microtech kill switch version, which basically means it's an automatic. And this is one that I need to get the review done. You guys tell me if you want to see it or what you want to see first. But I do need to get a review done of this because I got to send this on down to Texas, and my brother wants to do some looking at it. And it's really a much cooler knife than what the handle design and blade to handle ratio stuff would tell you. I usually don't talk about blade to handle ratio ever at all, but in this case, the reason I never picked up a Stitch, manual or automatic, was because the blade to handle ratio just looked way off. And, well, it is. But, well, we'll talk about it if you guys want to see a review. That's what we'll do. And then, this is a Susie knife. This is a Anthony Marfione. See if we can get that thing to focus. Custom, I assume. I really am not up on the way Microtech and Marfione do these, the difference between the customs and the regular Microtech knives. But this has got Anthony's signature on it. Microtech thing here. It's got the Marfione custom logo here, so I'm assuming it's a Marfione custom. And it's the little Hellhound, which is kind of a ridiculous blade, but whenever you've got a UTX 70, this is a UTX 70. See something Okay, here's the SNG. We'll move some of this stuff out of the way. That's a UTX 70. That's a standard 3.5-inch SNG. It's a tiny one. If you guys would like to see more on this, we've actually, around here, we've got a standard UTX 70 with a standard blade in it, and we've got, obviously, the Hellhound now. So, let me know, guys. And then, something I was very happy to get my hands on. Something I really wasn't sure that I was going to get what I wanted. I was pretty sure I'd be able to get a Strider, but the thing is, right now, the only thing coming out of Strider are very, very small batches, and they are usually SNGs. Now, I tried the MSG. The MSG3 wasn't my cup of tea, so I ended up trading that off. Only had it for a few days. It wasn't that it was a bad knife by any means. The knife itself was great in hand because, well, it's shaped very much like this one. But there were some issues with the pocket clip, and there were some issues with the way the flipper tab intruded on your pocket. It's the first time I've ever really ran into that, and there are reasons for why the flipper tab is that way on the MSG3, but they weren't important enough to me to keep the knife with it jabbing out in my pocket like it did. However, if the pocket clip had been better, it might have been a superb back pocket knife. Yeah, kind of expensive for that, I know, but still, it would have been a really, really good one. But anyhow, over the past several weeks, I have been able to acquire an SNG, and this is a CPM 154 version of the SNG, standard model. Nothing special here. Got textured G10, titanium on the backside, and flat ground. And then I was able to actually find I forget what exactly Strider calls this, but the hollow ground SMF, which is exactly what I wanted in this big thick blade. This is a 190 blade stock, and I did not really want the flat ground version in that thick a blade stock because, well, the hollow ground hopefully and does give you better cutting performance. And I really didn't know that I would carry the SMF that much, but the SMF is definitely my favorite of the two, even though it is a very big knife, a heavy knife, not terribly heavy for its size, but a heavy knife, and just plain big. These things have got mucho booty down there. I mean, look at that. That's a big old booty. Even on the SNG, that's a big old booty. You bring out we've got a Hinderer 0393. That's a lot more booty than that 393. I mean, look at that. Similar knives, but it's partially an ergonomic thing. I don't know that the big old booty is really necessary in these knives, but the ergonomics on these Strider knives are just really, really good. Barring any fuss about Strider, I know there's a lot of people have issues with Mick and, whatever. I'm looking at the hardware, not the social issues, if you will. So, anyhow, those are some of the new acquisitions. We've got the Striders, SNG, and SMF. That's a CC version, concealed carry. Yeah, I know that's kind of an oxymoron, concealed carry on an SMF, but hey, it means that everything's contoured. We have the little Hellhound. Now, that's definitely concealed carry. We have the little Voking. Now, I say little. This is not... I mean, it is a little knife, but it is not really... Well, if you guys want me to review it, just tell me. We'll get to it. And we have the Borka Blade Stitch. That's a big old dude. And then, of course, we have all of these new Civivi knives, which are rather interesting in my book. Very well on the price point. I mean, think about this. These knives right here, these three, are $42.50 is their MAP price. So their MSRP is $50. So they're going to fall in somewhere in between those two numbers whenever you go to pick them up at Blade HQ or wherever. And wow, guys, that is, well, whenever you consider the next cheapest thing on the table is this Voking knife at like 150, that's pretty impressive for the actions and the build quality that you're getting out of these Civivi knives. Now, we do have the 9CR18 MOV, which is somewhat equivalent to 440C. We'll have to see how that works out. That thing's just cool. I mean, I know it's ridiculous, but it's still cool. Anyhow, guys, let me know out of this mess what you would like to see coming up first. We've got... These are coming, the Civivi knives, because I want to get all that information out to you before they release to dealers, if I can, or before they get to the dealers. They got released to the dealers a couple days ago, but before they get to the dealers. And the rest of them here, the Voking, the Stitch, the little UTX-70 Hellhound, and the two Striders, you know, those are knives that we're just doing reviews of because, well, hey, they're cool. It's not really because they're new and coming out soon. So let me know what you want to see first. Really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that little bell button so that you know every week when the Apex news comes out. And that is where I gather up all the news that is news and cram it into a nice little package and put it in a little write-up over on the apexnews.com, and I even do a video talking about the news right here called the Apex News. You guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what videos you want to see next. Have a great day, everybody.